Ah.
You're live, it says.
I am.
Apparently.
I'm so glad I invested in that button.
The which button?
Yes, the which button.
Okay, I still can't hear it, so it kind of I don't know what you were talking about at first, but I got it. I understand it now.
I keep pressing it. I'm so glad I invested.
The which button?
Yes, the which button.
Okay. Yep. Audio check's good. Welcome back, everyone.
Me.
Welcome back to Umineko, Naku Koro ni Chiru. Episode 6.
AKA Dawn of the Golden Witch.
So if you weren't here last stream...
Hey, wait, what does that say? What did that say there?
Oh, shoot, wait. I can leave. Wait. This story is very obviously fictional and fantastic in nature, and it resembles to existing individuals, organizations, locations, or incidents is entirely coincidental. Always got to get it at the start of every one of them. Wait, okay, give me just a second. Wait, I gotta leave. I'm sorry, guy. I know. Okay, look, I know you want to start, but okay, a beautiful shot. Yeah, get me out of here. No, don't clear. Get me out of here. Get me the hell out of here.
Oh, dang. There was a whole thing already. Did you see that?
Yep. Don't worry about that.
Kenzo was missing.
We didn't read the intro thing yet. It doesn't count.
Ding dong.
Levi. I can't believe.
Okay, wait.
I instinctually clicked on
Listen,
it.
wait. Okay, I have it. I will read it. People at home can follow along by looking it up.
Oh no!
Good morning. Now, the curtain shall finally rise on a game presented by that Battler-sama. Will Battler-sama manage to successfully and spectacularly fill the enormous role of Game Master? Let us bear witness to this fight from the opposite side of the chessboard. There is no longer a difficulty level. This is no longer a hint, but a confession.
She likes him.
Maybe. That's what it said.
I don't really think it's a maybe anymore after last
episode.
Maybe. You know,
the
entire epilogue of last episode, when the entire point of the episode was, wait, we actually love each other.
They didn't watch that. It didn't happen. I did see one person saying, like, I saw something on one of the Umineko subreddits that was like, where's all this information coming from about, like, Battler coming back after the fight with Erika? I never saw that in my game. Do I have to have the wrong copy? And somebody was like, you didn't do the question marks. And he was like, oh!
The question marks.
This guy had gotten to episode 6 and was like,
and
I didn't know those were there.
Question marks?
No, none of them.
Okay, I will say, it's kind of a little bit the game design's fault, because like the question marks are very important and pivotal to the plot, but it's made to look like they are very much optional.
Yeah.
So, read your question marks, everyone. It's like eating your crust. It's good for you.
True. I don't know if there's much else to say before we jump in. We should probably actually do a little bit of a recap.
Yeah, probably.
I will say on one of my sources I'm looking at, this the word count.
I'll give it a little system while we're deliberating.
The word count for this one is 139,000 words.
Oh boy. Oh, this is different.
Yep.
There is now.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, he's so cool.
He's all so capsed out.
He's got the big overcoat on. Look at him.
Yep. Battler.
Endless Sorcerer and Final Game Master. Final Game Master, it says.
Mm-hmm.
Ruler of the game board and the territory lord. Yeah, but we know that. For he's won Beato's game, he must act the part of Game Master. By succeeding in this, his victory will be acknowledged, and Beato's game will reach its end. Because he knows all of the truth, the plane on which he exists is higher than those of all others. He alone.
True.
So
you won't be simping for him.
So, if it's saying he's won, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean the whole point of all this stuff that was happening on Rokkenjima for these cycles, these kalpas that Battler has been put through, was a very elaborate love confession?
I don't know. You'll have to keep playing.
Beatrice. You have to be direct with men, Beatrice. You know?
It comes back to the main question, Levi. Who am I?
Okay.
You did good on the epitaph. Now you gotta solve this part.
I did?
Maybe. I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay. Well.
Anyway. Otherwise, I think Kinzo also changed if we want to look at that. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I think this is all the same.
I think some of the... Is some of this different? I can't tell. No.
I can't tell either.
I
It
don't
looks
think that's
similar
different.
enough.
I don't think that's different. The Seven Sisters. All the goats.
Interestingly, the shysters aren't here right now.
The Sheesters.
The Sheesters.
It's implied.
Wait. Oh, it was really funny. We can look at Kinzo if we want. Oh, okay, well. The Erika said, the Witch of Truth provisional. That was all. That just made me laugh. Look.
Ha! Provisional.
Yeah.
Okay, it seems everything else is the same for her. It just
Yeah.
added the Witch of Truth at the beginning. I'm detecting an intellectual rapist.
Yep. Now we can take a look at Kinzo, but I think, again, this should remain unchanged, although Erika is not on there this time.
Yep. Aged head of Ushiromiya family, he is already dead. But thanks to Krause and Natsuhi's close room illusion is being made to look as though he's alive. Therefore, the number of people... Wait, oh my god. Therefore, there is no longer any need to include him in the number of people on the island. Without him, the number goes down from 18 to 17. However, after welcoming in the guest known as Erika, the number returns to 18. That's an interesting way of doing that. I like that because in Questions arcs we never really knew if he was dead or alive 100%, so they could keep it at 18. But then it got confirmed at the end of Questions arcs that he was dead. So then it was like, how do we keep it 18? We put in a new person.
But the thing, too, is they didn't just put in, like, some nobody to put it back to 18.
Yeah.
They put in Erika. Which has fundamentally changed Umineko, I feel like.
All right.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all excited.
Oh, I'm going to have to remember some of these voices. Oh, boy.
Has that always said attending physician, Nanjo?
Yes.
Okay. Wasn't sure.
I saw it once and thought, I was like, that's weird. And then I noticed it again later and I was like, okay, I must have just been crazy.
Today, when I was doing my audio check, I tried Maria's voice and realized how long it's been since I've done Maria's voice.
Yep.
And I was like, holy moly.
I'm afraid because I got pizza voice now. So, like, I'm going to do somebody, I'm going to go like, look, and it's not going to be good.
Well, enough deliberation.
Oh, I was going to say, we didn't really recap, but
true.
There's a lot.
Battler
I mean, you
won.
know, I was gonna say, you know the drill at this point. New game. Things are looking up for Battler.
Yep.
I guess you could say he won.
Battler clapped back in the question marks, and we learned a little bit about how the games work a little bit more. It's not necessarily that you have to be 100% exactly what happened. It's that you have to present a truth that could be believed to have happened. And then the game master decides which truth is the most believable truth and takes that. So Battler struck back at Erika's truth with one of his own that could be entirely believable and eradicated their position and thus bringing the game back.
Yep, and it was because he became the territory lord.
Yes.
Which is described as a complete understanding of this game board.
To put it in which terms, he reached that point that they've been talking about as a witch, where you become a real witch, right?
Yep. So they awarded him the title of Game Master for this next game, and Lambdadelta acknowledged him as the next Golden Witch, but was like, that don't fit, and decided to instead dub him as the Eternal Sorcerer.
The Eternal Sorcerer, which does go
right.
hard. And they've called Kinzo a sorcerer before too, so it is kind of in line with that.
True. But I think that's it. Go back and watch if you want to see the details on like how he beat Erika, because it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that one. The last one's just a little bit longer than usual, so you shouldn't have too much trouble.
Yeah, it'd be fine. Also, final thing I'll say, the whole thing about him being a territory lord was because he used the golden truth.
Yeah, new truth unlocked, guys. Wasn't purple. If you were hedging your bets on purple, it wasn't purple.
Nope. It was golden, which proves that he's a territory lord, and thus the use of golden truth means he has complete and total understanding of the game that he's
golden
in.
Truth he can use golden truth because he knows everything. And as Virgilia put it, sometimes it's stronger than red truth, and sometimes it's weaker. So it's a very situational tool.
Yep.
But he did in fact use it to just straight up deny a red truth, which was really funny.
It was very funny. Okay, now I think that's it. Let's get into this. Let's not dilly-dally anymore. Episode 6, Dawn of the Golden Witch. Let's get it rolling, shall we?
Flowers. And a strange moon sun-like edifice.
Yes.
A beautiful glow shone in from the skylight over the grand cathedral. The place was somehow different from the way it had been during the witch's trial. The decorations had changed. Are we going to pan down? The several pleasantly sparkling white ribbons that adorned it were thin like razors, but they trailed beautifully in the air. Flowers were arranged all over in a way that would make any place look cheerful. It was like how a single drop of impure water can spoil an entire cask of wine. Just the presence of those flowers, those ribbons, and the red carpet that ran down the center of the room made it hard to believe that this was the same place Ushiromiya Natsuhi had been falsely accused of a crime. It had truly become a wedding chapel. Because they love each other.
Oh, do they?
Who?
Alright. This one is me.
Immediately. We didn't get a warm-up or anything.
Nope. I gotta come up with a voice for this character.
She's looking Romanian to me. You can do a Romanian accent, right?
You know, I was actually thinking the same thing, but nope. No, I cannot. What do I do about you? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna, given just going off of her first line, I'm going to attempt to I'm gonna try to give her a normal voice, but I'm gonna try to give her preacher inflections. Let's see if I can accomplish it, alright? Love is generous. Love is merciful. That's you.
Love does not envy. It does not boast.
These words, spoken by two demons who seemed to be in charge of this gathering, were part of a ceremony for making an oath of love before the eyes of God. Of course, in this wedding celebrated by demons, there was no priest in sight. Instead, there stood the witch who controls miracles. It's gonna be fucking Lambdadelta and Bernkastel.
In sickness and in health. Yeah, a wife's true job is to be supportive in times of sickness. Isn't that right, Erika?
Oh!
Yes,
You good there, bud?
my master.
That looks good on you. What a fitting outfit for one who has conquered the bridegroom.
What is happening?
What?
Why is she getting married?
You'll see.
I'm honored, my master.
The bride standing on the carpeted path was Furudo Erika. I'm assuming she is being punished in some way right now. The groom's face couldn't be seen. The bride's outfit certainly was a pure white wedding dress. Her veil represented both the white of God's blessings and the white of a demon's cruelty. White represents that? I
guess.
would have considered that more of a black kind of color, but a great many goat nobles, witches, and demons were gathered for this wedding. If only their heads hadn't been those of goats, it would probably have seemed a very refined crowd worthy of this great cathedral. Oh, hi, Lambda.
I expect no less of you, Bern. The stuff you managed to think up is always so twisted.
A wife supporting her ailing husband. Isn't that a lovely story? It suits you well, Erika. And congratulations to you, too, Mr. Groom.
Hello?
Hi.
Me? Is it me? Am I getting married to Erika?
Mm-hmm.
Pertuset can have her.
Woo!
At that point, Bernkastel stared straight into the groom's eyes. The groom didn't answer. His eyes were gray.
How rude.
His lips would mutter something from time to time, but no one could tell if the words meant anything. Headcanon until proven otherwise, it's Goda.
Hey, are you listening? You people?
She spoke to the groom in the plural. Of course, there was only one groom. She was looking at us.
It's me.
I don't want to be married to the rape. And of course, the gray-eyed groom didn't answer.
So, even though you can hear her, you can't answer? Don't worry, okay? Battler son?
Oh, okay.
It's okay. I'll just take everything you are and trample it into the ground.
The Witch of Miracles sneered with an evil smile that even a demon would shudder to look at. Even that sneer provoked no response from Battler's dim eyes. Who are you?
People live for the sake of love. Therefore, today you have fulfilled the purpose of your lives.
Oh, how great is the power to live, the power of love. I pray that the brightness of this day blesses these two for all time. Just give it a rest already, you demons. What comes next?
The couple will now make an oath of eternal love.
After that, they will exchange rings.
On Battler's hand was a ring bearing the seal of the one-winged eagle, proof that he was the territory lord of this world. And on Erika's finger was a diamond ring that could not be shattered by any miracle. Diamonds signify an eternal bond. However, in Greek, the word diamond simply means unbreakable. Is that a JoJo reference?
It is true.
Erika wasn't vowing to love Battler forever. She just wanted to rule over him as her eternal property. This wedding was being performed for the sole purpose of defiling Battler. Okay, where
It
is
should
this?
have been me!
Where is this on the timeline? Where is...
Wouldn't you know it? It's a flash forward.
Don't worry. I won't love you forever. After all, the point of this ceremony is to make you submit to me. Your heart will be shut inside an inescapable closed room forever, where I, Furudo Erika, the detective and the Witch of Truth, will command it. Your position as territory lord and your ring will be mine.
Well, so,
Yeah, you...
I don't know. Will become mine. There you go.
Can't get...
What was that?
Can't get out.
I feel like Battler and Denji would be really good friends.
Well, Battler is just the eternal "it's so over, we're so back" meme. I fully expect him to get out of this somehow. He has proven himself to me several times at this point.
Yeah. You I wish you knew the things I knew about
might,
Benji.
it might take forever and be the most painful it could possibly be for him, but I have hope. No matter how dim it might be and far away.
Yeah, I'll bet you can't get out of that closed room. After all, you made it yourself. You'll suffer in that room for all eternity. And I'll remain by your side as your wife forever, getting to enjoy that look of anguish on your face all by myself.
I'm trying to get context as to what happened based off of what's being said here. I already have an idea.
I'll defile you forever. Oh, she wrote me a battler!
Oh my gosh! So yeah, that's the beginning. Watch your ears, people, it's a bit too late.
Yeah, it's just like how sometimes we have to have epilepsy warnings. Headphone warning.
Didn't realize. Sorry. I don't think we have any way to control it either, yeah.
For some reason, the audio for the opening is always at a fixed level and cannot be changed.
Yeah. It's pretty hype, though, that way.
Always scares me.
Yeah.
I'll talk about my theory that I immediately just now formulated once this is over so everyone can actually hear.
I'm glad we see Erika in the opening now. I love the I still like the first one more,
I like it.
but this is good.
There's a lot of production here.
Yeah.
Who's that in the background?
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Another one? 3 of them?
You're Beatrice. You're Beatrice. He, she, me, Beatrice.
Who are the other
Beatrices I should know about? Meow.
Yeah, wait. Oh, I've forgotten his name. Little boy, little precious bean. Sakutaro.
Oh.
That's it, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Alright, so here's my theory.
Okay.
Based off what Erika just said, she said he created a closed room that he would forever be stuck in. I'm predicting right now, something's gonna happen since this is his first time ever constructing a game. He's gonna, like, get himself stuck via Red Truth somehow and contradict himself and not able to get out of it. And then that makes him, like, auto-lose or something like that.
I guess we'll see. Also, I don't think there's a reason for the game not to tell you who those 2 demons were. But since they didn't tell you, I will choose not to
That's fine.
tell you as well. I don't think it matters.
Eventually
but
they'll probably give us the name, so I don't really care.
Yeah. Anyway.
And this is even more of a theory because there's no... Oh, excuse me. Oh, my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. That was unexpected. There's no evidence for this whatsoever, unlike the Erika one being based on a statement she said. I'm theorizing that Beatrice is going to come back at the end of this episode, and that's how he gets out of this, is Beatrice is going to have to save him somehow. And that's how we get our girl back. Anyways.
Maybe.
All that could be heard was the sound of the wind. Golden wind. A sound of misfortune, bringing sadness and unease to all who heard it. Slowly, I came back to my senses. Yeah, that says finally. I finally regained consciousness on top of a bed with a firm mattress. Where was this again? I can't remember where this is, but I can vaguely recall that I must not remain here. The room was dimly lit. There was a light on, but that just made the darkness and eeriness of the room more apparent. There were no curtains over the window, not over by. But it was too dark outside to see anything beyond it. If I squinted into that pitch blackness, it felt as though I could see the witch of the forest peeking back at me from the darkness, and I averted my gaze from the window in fear. I can't see or hear it, but I get the feeling that if I leave this room, it'll be bright and warm, and someone else will be there for me. I want to get out to where everyone else is as soon as I can. Bad memories from when I was young began to well up. Horrible, harsh memories of when I started dozing off during family gatherings and was put to sleep in some room I didn't know. I remember waking up there, incredibly lonely and sobbing. I must not remain in this room. I just want to get out of here quickly. Once that thought crossed my mind, I didn't want to stay in the room a second longer than I had to. I'm scared. It's creepy. Where is everyone? I want to get out of here right now. I opened the door, trying to leave the room. A pleasant glow snuck in through the crack of the door. And as I'd thought, the corridor was filled with a comforting light. I couldn't actually hear them, but I could sense that far away, people were enjoying themselves. I'm sure everyone's gathered in the room across from this one. I've been shut up in this lonely, creepy room, all alone. I should go, quickly. Hello. Random 3D model of a chain. As soon as I thought this, a merciless metallic sound rang out, and the door refused to open any further. The chain had been set. I've always hated chain locks. That's a weird thing to hate. You can open a normal lock just by twisting, but chain locks are all built in an annoying way, and I couldn't work them easily.
No, I'm with it.
So I've hated them ever since I was young.
I'm so with it, whoever this is.
See? Even this chain is causing me trouble, and I just can't get it undone. I thought I was crazy for the longest time, but I think you have a little bit of audio bleed.
No! From what?
I hear my voice very faintly. Like right after I talk.
Well, you know what time it is. Let's do it. Alright, you ready?
Yup.
I move this one up.
Okay, let me
Am I
talk
louder?
a little bit to see if I hear it. See, it's not that you're quiet, it's that I can hear my voice through you. Very faintly in the background.
I got no idea about that. I can
You
push my
sound
microphone
fine.
away.
Okay, I'm talking now. I don't hear it now.
Ooh.
Oh. Okay, we'll just keep going. And see if it comes back or not. Even this trouble, it can't chain.
Yeah.
Spoon.
True. Spoon tech.
Why is this happening? I just want to leave this creepy room right away. Just on the other side of this thin door, everything is bathed in warm light. I can't undo it. I just can't undo this chain. Real talk? I think this is gonna be Battler, but at the same time, I could very much see it being Beatrice as well.
I don't remember. Like I said, my memory is very bad at this point.
Because Battler seemed, funnily enough, like he was almost in the exact same state that Beatrice was in that opening scene. So, I don't know. The more desperate I grew, the more that unsettling darkness seemed to be closing in on my back, and the more frightened I became. Then, I finally noticed. There's something wrong with this chain. It made the little creepy noise. Yes, there is a chain. Yeah. But this isn't a chain lock. This is just a chain staked into the door, preventing it from opening any further. In other words, it isn't made to be opened. What the hell's going on? Who'd do something like this? Damn it. No matter what I did, how much I struggled, I couldn't pull out the stake or undo the chain or break the mechanism. This door was just a demon's mouth, made to trick me into thinking it would open before crushing my hopes. Even so, if only I could just open this door somehow, I could get out into that pleasant corridor. This desire forced me to keep my hand glued to the doorknob. But it was useless. Okay, it's Battler.
True.
Both the chain and the stake were firm, and no matter how much I clattered them about, there was no chance of the door opening any further. Even though I could see the pleasant hallway through the crack, I had no chance of opening the door any further. Maybe someone will come if I yell. Maybe the door can be opened easily from the outside. When I thought this, I tried to call out to someone, but I couldn't make the words come out. I could mouth, "Someone come here," but no voice left my lips. Black box behind the text. What's going on? Bum 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 bum. Crazy frog in Umineko.
Crazy frog and Umineko is just a normal frog.
Someone, come. Why can't I cry out? Help me, help me, help me. The mere fact that I can't say help me out loud is even scarier. If I turn around, the witch gazing into the room from the darkness outside might be inside the room this time, standing right behind me. I'm frightened. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. Someone help me. Someone help me. I can't get out. Can't get out. Let me out of this room. Help me. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. Help me. Help me. Help me. Yeah?
I don't think they helped him.
I don't think they did either.
I don't know who this is.
It sounds like they've arrived, lady. Huh? Oh.
Okay, wait.
I'm waiting.
I think I do know who this is. Go ahead and just read it plainly now.
Huh? Oh. Oh! Wait!
What?
Is it my girl?
Does that look like your girl?
But there's only one person he's ever with.
It could be the head of that one company.
I hope not with this line. I really hope not.
Oh, you don't know.
Oh.
Amakusa ran his finger down my cheek. In an instant, I awoke from the doze I'd just been in.
Oh. Honestly, I thought she was only gonna just play the role in questions arcs and never be seen again.
They made you think that, didn't they?
I'm so happy. I love these two. Honestly, I kind of wished we got more of not game board her in episode 4 because I liked these two together. I liked their interactions.
I glared at Amakusa for waking me up in such a creepy way, but he just pretended not to notice. Where is this? It feels like a parlor in some dignified person's house, but I have no memory of this place at all. Where is this? And why am I...
You still half asleep, lady?
Yeah, sorry. Where are we?
Ah.
Apparently, he hadn't expected me to forget something like that just because I wasn't fully awake yet. For once, I agreed with him. Why am I in some parlor that I don't recognize? The sound of the footsteps from the they Amakusa had mentioned had come right up to the opposite side of the door. I could hear conversing voices. Is that a woman?
So, I mean, I assume we're about to find out, but what have these two been up to? Because they...
Ooh.
Anja kind of got closure, I thought. So, just hanging around? Just...
Yeah, I mean, look, coffee.
Judging by the coffee and snacks laid in front of me, I was the guest here. In that case, I better remember why I came here. Or at least who it was I came to visit. Who am I? Ushiromiya Anja. Who's the man standing behind me? Amakusa Juza.
Ding-a-ling. Just the two of us.
With a
Final
blue line.
descendant of the Ushiromiya family, 12 years in the future. During her journey to reach Rokkenjima, while evading pursuers from the Sumadera family, she becomes overwhelmed by a world of an impossible memory. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
She reached several truths in the previous games and possesses the power to act as an observer. Also interesting. Wasn't that originally what Lambda and Bern were calling themselves, was observers?
I can't remember.
Way, way back in the beginning. It seems that witches who hope for the worst for her are great in number, and as are those who wish to become her master. What being a good piece does to a MFer.
I love being a piece, brother.
A former guard of Eva's, he's fundamentally a thrill seeker, willing to take on dangerous jobs for very little pay. At one point, he did work as a guard for Anja, but after repeatedly violating Eva's strict orders to not speak to her, Eva grew to dislike him. I think this might just be the same as the question marks one. Anja seemed to not mind having him around. This man, he's been in the SDF, he's been in the Foreign Legion, he's been in private military companies. He's a really good bodyguard. What is in the knot? Oh, it's just
nothing.
This. Okay. Oh, this is just a further page. I see.
Wow.
Okay. They're back.
Mm-hmm.
Amakusa Juza, the man who used to be my guard long ago. He's now the bodyguard Okonogi assigned to me. In that case, is this after Aunt Ava's death? When I've thrown off my pursuers on that journey to find out what happened 12 years ago? Is that how it went? Do I really have a memory like this?
Oh, her brain's all crisscrossed.
Yeah, that's
Battler-
what time jumping will do to you.
Battler got the I understand everything because of love wet route. Anja got the I understand everything as in like Cthulhu way.
Yeah, yep. Yeah.
After a knock, the door opened, and the person I must have come here to meet entered along with an assistant.
Please don't be Nanjo's son again. I do not remember his voice.
Oh, wonderful. Even after seeing her face, I can't remember who she is.
Dang.
Our sincere apologies for keeping you waiting. Hachijo Toya is here. That's a relief. The assistant introduced her to me first. and I finally remembered who she was. She? I thought it was a he.
Excuse me, but are you? Whoa.
That's gonna be me. I gotta come up with another female voice.
It was bound to happen eventually. It was...
Yeah. After we just got another female voice, mind you. Let me get it down in the notes real quick.
You've been
So that way I
taking
know you
notes.
get the next one.
Oh, to know who gets what. Okay, I was about to
Yeah,
say.
the voices. The voices, by the way. No.
The voices!
I gotta, when this is all over, said and done, we'll see just how many voices we have in this, because it's... we're at the point where we could fill a room with just
the
us.
voices, yeah. Surprisingly
Okay.
enough, I'm surprised we haven't broken down and just given two characters the same voice at some point. Some are similar, but I don't think any one of them are exactly alike.
I know. And I know what I should do for the voice for this character to do her justice, but it's very similar to Ava's voice. So I'm like, or at least the voice I'm doing for Ava.
Haughty
So,
woman.
yeah. So I'm like, let's see what we can do with this. Let's see. This might change. We're going to workshop this one, folks. Okay.
That's right. I am Hachijo Toya.
I like it. But first, keep that what you just did in your brain, because I have to read this.
Yeah.
Whoa.
What a dress,
That's
by the way.
That's a little tight on the legs, ma'am.
Yeah. Also, you see the finger there?
What's she doing that for?
It's kind of makes me think of Baphomet.
True. She's just the devil. Anyways, a message bottle forger. Oh, interesting. She's a mysterious novel writer, and her person is surrounded by even more mysteries than those found in her novels. She claims to have found the truth of Rokkenjima and posts new tales she has written on the web. She's a Reddit poster. As though giving out extra hints.
However, I have no memory of meeting with her before my trip to Nijima.
The magazines were all talking about your book signing event. Supposedly, a mysterious male author showed up wearing sunglasses and a mask. Never thought you'd be a woman. What's the deal?
That was just a double arranged for by the editing department. I was the helper standing behind him at the book signing.
Huh. Now there's a shock. I haven't read your works, but I'll bet you're even more mysterious than your books.
Readers only pretend to read books.
What is this track?
Love Examination. Is the name
Okay.
of it.
They read them based merely on the name of the author and the brand and think that they've actually read them. No matter what I write in my books, they don't truly read anything.
She's one of those authors.
Mm-hmm.
They just pretend to read so they can look smart and knowledgeable and keep up with the current fad. Why on earth should I expose myself to these people?
That's why you don't do it?
Why indulge such trash?
I see. Looks like you're Madame Hachijo, all right. This person really is eccentric. There's no doubt about it. This is Hachijo Toya herself. Hachijo Toya is a mystery novelist who's become the center of discussion lately. It seems her books themselves have been highly praised, but it's her mysterious debut that's attracted so much attention towards her lately. Last year, she managed to win several different awards for exceptional mystery novels offered by multiple large publishing companies, submitting each of her works under a different pen name. And after that, several highly regarded anonymous works were discovered, one after another, to have been stories she had written in the past under false names. And her popularity soared as she herself became more mysterious than her books. Despite all of this, the author herself never appeared in public, and everything about her was wrapped in a veil of secrecy. However, just a few days ago, this author finally made a public appearance for a book signing, showing up with a mask that covered his face and drawing even more public attention. And yet, apparently even that had been a fake. Given this person's radically unconventional track record, it was hardly a surprise to hear her casually insult her fans like this.
I know quite a lot about you too, Ushiromiya Anje-san. The talk shows have been saying all sorts of things.
She's doing the pose, you just can't see it. The fingers are hidden.
I'm sure you've heard nothing good.
Yes, nothing good at all. Apparently you employ and fire people on a whim, try to resolve everything with money, and care nothing for the law as long as you get your way.
Yep, sounds about right.
However, I happen to like intelligent people like you.
Is that why you agreed to meet with me?
Exactly. You're the only person who's managed to spot that Itoi Kukuro...
One second. Itoi Kukuro Reigon Namu is another pen name used by me, Hachijo Toya.
Can you name all of your pen names real quick?
It's...
That's actually quite impressive.
Oh, thanks, game. I shouldn't have opened my big mouth. Itoi Kukuro? Itoi Kukuro Regonamu.
There you go.
Itoi Kukuro Regonamu. It was a pretty strange pen name. However, if you match the Japanese syllables to numbers, you can read it as 11019960576.
Yeah? That you thought of that, Anja? You just happened to think that when you read it. Okay. Yep.
11019960576. This massive number is equal to 18 to the 8th power.
Oh, you just, yeah?
18 to the 8th. In Japanese, Toya no Hachijo. Or in other words, Hachijo Toya.
That's crazy.
I guarantee you, no one in real life would figure that out.
Yeah. Or if they did, they'd be like, what's wrong with you? That's
yeah, no,
stupid."
people would be like, that's a very dumb answer. That.
Anyway.
Very well done. I was quite impressed. In fact, I was so impressed, I decided to let you meet me in person. Welcome to my mansion, child of man.
Now, why'd you say that last part? Why'd you...
Wouldn't you like to know?
I'm becoming ever more convinced that you're Satan, woman.
Her manner of speaking was extremely condescending, but perhaps because of her elegant manner, it didn't feel particularly irritating. This person had a sort of majestic grandeur about her, which made that style of speech seem almost natural. At least, that's how it felt to me. In fact, it felt almost as though this was the manifestation of some noble being, who would have no need to show herself before mere humans under normal circumstances. Since I'm not particularly a fan of hers, I guess this is proof that her mysterious charisma really is nothing to be laughed at. However, I didn't come here to talk to Hachijo Toya, the mystery novelist. I'm interested in...
Why do you keep making me say it?
Itoi Kukuro Regonamu, the mysterious web author who only released her works over the internet. Around the Japanese parts of the internet, Itoi Kukuro is an extremely famous witch hunter.
Oh, we're still on the witch hunt then.
I'm coming back to it.
However, she isn't a big opinion leader like Professor Otsuki. She's one of those message bottle forgers who are always the center of vigorous debate. Message bottle forgers are, as the name suggests, people who forge and post the contents of what purport to be mysterious message bottles detailing the events of the Rokkenjima incident. they claim to have discovered a new message bottle, and post either a very similar counterfeit story or a new theory with their own interpretation of the truth, all of which are supposedly written by Ushiromiya Maria. In doing so, they openly take on the name Ushiromiya Maria, writing up new bizarre tales as if they'd been present themselves and knew the truth. They then send these stories out into the newest sea discovered by humankind, the Internet, claiming that it's a third or fourth message bottle. All of the first forgers were either simple pranksters or crooks trying to swindle collectors. Eventually, though, people who claimed to have solved the riddles of the message bottle tales and reached the truth started to appear. And they started creating original works of their own, third and fourth message bottles from Ushiromiya Maria, as though they had moved over to the riddle teller's side. These people rewrote the tale of the witch with whatever interpretations they wanted, and every once in a while, parts of their theories would gain big followings on the net. There's this one called Nanjotris. Some of these creations grew to be so widely trusted that they were believed to contain some grain of truth. The more rigid witch hunters openly despised these people, calling them forgers, counterfeiters, or just witches. Though they claimed to have reached the truth, they refused to tell anyone and created fake message bottles as though testing everyone else. It was no surprise that more straight-laced witch hunters were seriously annoyed by these forgers.
Hey, I liked him in Spy Family.
However, among those who simply liked to entertain themselves with the occult fantasy of Rokkenjima, an extremely small number accepted these creations as literary works, glad of these additions to the mysterious tale. Itoi Kukuro was the most highly regarded of these forgers. Into of the Golden Witch. I've read that one.
We were just there.
That's one hell of a hobby you've got there, killing off other people's families however you like.
Did you come all the way here just to say that? I think not. Final descendant of the Ushiromiya family.
I don't know why, but anytime someone is given the title of Final or Last X, it entertains me greatly for some reason.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. I've always thought, like, in Skyrim, the last Dragonborn goes hard. Them calling Anja the last Golden Witch goes hard. Like, I don't know what it is, but, like, being the final person of some kind of lineage to me goes hard for some reason, and I don't know.
No,
why.
you're right. You're right. When you said entertains you for some reason, I was like, what exactly do you mean by that? But no, now I know what you mean. No, I agree.
In her latest forgery, End, she killed off 7 members of my family. At least during the actual story. No, if you count...
She wrote Alliance and Banquet, too?
Yeah.
If you count Alliance and Banquet, the other forgery she's made before now, then she's killed off most of my family in horrible ways. Over and over again.
This is crazy levels of fourth wall breaking right now.
What do you mean?
With Umineko, I'm never sure if it's all just a big metaphor or if it's all real in every possible way. And the more we play, the more I'm leaning to everything is real all the time at the same time. And they're all overlapping over each other. So, in that way, that makes this kind of like a funny coincidence, a little bit. But also not at the same time.
It's quite the coincidence, don't you think?
Yes. But this woman who hasn't been introduced for 5 episodes is suddenly the being that has spawned into existence the game boards that we've been playing because she's been writing them? I feel like that's a stretch.
Did she write them? Or did she transcribe them? Just keep reading. Put the words in the bag, bro.
Okay.
Of course, I want to complain. However, all of her works are known for being, in both form and level of perfection, the closest tales to those written by Ushiromiya Maria herself. In particular, Itoi Kukuro's first forgery, Banquet of the Golden Witch, managed to fit everything, including Ushiromiya Eva's escape to Kuwadorian. People wondered whether this might be the true story of Rokkenjima, and it even made it onto the talk shows. So far, all of these tales have been nothing more than electronic text on the web. However, people will eventually realize that Itoi Kukuro is actually Hachijo Toya. When that happens, they'll become works of that bizarre Hachijo, and no one will think of them as mere fan creations. People will start wondering if this might actually be a third message bottle she found and released under the guise of a story she wrote. When that happens, these stories will probably seem even more bizarre and credible.
Spill the beans, funny author lady. What do you know? What do you...
You're pretty cunning, aren't you?
Hold on, I'm reading.
Dang.
I don't want to do. I'm reading. Fine, I'll read. Why do you say that?
You're doing this to make your forgeries seem more mysterious and more credible.
And what do you mean by credible?
Once you've gained credibility, your forgeries will rise to the level of truth.
Rise to the level of truth.
I don't like that sprite. I don't like when she's a little, like her eyes are that far open.
Ding!
I feel like her eyes shouldn't be that far open.
How foolish. We're back? Such a thing is unnecessary for my works.
Are you saying that because your works are truth... sorry, I read that with the entirely wrong cadence. Let me restart. Are you saying that because your works are truth and not mere forgeries?
Correct. They are truth, so there's no need for them to rise into anything.
You aren't Maria One-chan, and you definitely weren't on Rokkenjima that day. How can you be so absurd as to call this the truth?
Hey, don't lose your cool, lady.
Shut up! What makes you think I'm losing my cool?
Anja half realized that she'd let her emotions get the better of her. She let out a sigh and shrugged.
Your reason for coming here? It wasn't to yell at me for killing your family several times within my forgeries, correct?
Hachijo had been smiling at Anja kindly, but in a condescending manner. Or else, like a mother might watch over a very small child. Anja realized this and was unable to suppress her irritation. Apparently, Hamakusa could tell that Anja was getting worked up. He joked around with her for a bit so that they could start the conversation over again from the beginning.
The thing you came to hear. It's the truth that I've reached, is it not?
Why are you so sure that you've reached the truth?
Because I've understood all of the tales.
And I'm asking you why you're so sure about that.
Do you think the sun ever revolved around the earth?
Hachijo suddenly started talking about Ptolemaic theory.
Yeah, you got it.
Anja was about to tell her not to answer questions with more questions, but she quickly realized what Hachijo meant.
Humans used to support the Ptolemaic theory. However, that theory has been rejected in the modern age.
Does this mean that at the instant that theory was rejected, the sun stopped moving, and the Earth started revolving around the sun?
Of course not. The truth doesn't change based on what humans believe.
Oh goodness, here we go again. More discussion about what is truth.
Mm-hmm.
Then, right now, your denial of my truth means exactly the same thing.
The idea of heliocentrism was proposed by several scholars before Galileo. However, it was hard to objectively prove that theory using the scientific techniques available at the time. It wasn't until Galileo stared directly into the sun for several hours of the day with a telescope.
Yeah.
Even so, that didn't change what the truth was. And yet, it moves.
So, you're saying the truth is still the truth, whether you can prove it or not?
Correct. In the future, when the full truth finally becomes known, people will look back and realize that I had already discovered it.
Apparently, Anja just couldn't stand Hachijo's attitude. She kept getting irritated, and every time Amakusa would joke around until she settled down again. He's her dang... I don't even know what you would say. Like...
I'm trying to think. Look at the keys. Look at the keys.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, but I didn't know how to describe it. However, there could be no mistake that Hachijo was a genius, and had used her extraordinary intuition to form a most interesting outlook on the events that occurred on that island. That was why Anja had wanted to contact Itoi Kukuro and hear her views. Still, this meeting truly had been fortunate for Anja. She hadn't been absolutely sure that Itoi Kukuro was Hachijo Toya. She hadn't thought that the publishing company would really contact the author, and moreover, she hadn't dreamed that the mysterious masked author would grant her an interview under such short notice. The more she thought about it, the more that she realized that the sum of events leading to this meeting made for nothing short of a miracle. Yes, a miracle. After all, in almost all cases, I'd never be contacted by the publishing company, and would leave for Nijima the next day. Is she fragment hopping? Anja, that's gotta be bad for your health.
I'd leave for Nijima, then go on to Rokkenjima.
So this is before!
And then give One-chan a Sakutaro stuffed animal. Huh? Why a Sakutaro stuffed animal? My memory of the future is all muddled. My head hurts.
Hachijo said something about showing Anja something good, rose from the sofa, and headed for the study desk. When she turned her back, Amakusa asked Anja, who seemed to be troubled by something, if she was okay.
Hey, Amakusa, how long have I been here?
What? You've been looking weird for a while now. What's going on?
I can't remember how long I've been sitting here.
Are you still half asleep?
That's not it. I mean, I was able to get an appointment with Professor Otsuki, but the publishing company never got back to me about Itoi Kukuro. So in the end, I was stuck unable to do anything that entire day. Right?
Huh?
Amakusa, you went to go get that large black bag, didn't you? That's right. Just before we left for Nijima, Amakusa and I parted ways just one time. He said something about getting a weapon from an acquaintance of his, and he went to go get that large black bag. Wasn't that today? What am I talking about? I mean, didn't I go to Nijima, meet Captain Kawabata, and inside the bed shop? Huh? What?
What is going on with you, girl?
Don't mess with witches, man.
Something wrong?
Did my confusion and uncertainty make me sigh out loud? Even though Hachijo's back was to me, she slowly turned around and smiled as though she had peered into my heart. No. It's nothing. Strange memories. Ones that even I can't understand. I tried to hide my confusion, but for some reason, Hachijo had a strange glint in her eyes, as though she could read my mind.
I have revived and killed your family several times within various forgeries. Almost like a witch might.
Reviving and killing them whenever you like. Endlessly. Sounds almost like Beatrice, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. So please follow the lead of all those people on the web. And consider the possibility that I might be a witch.
She took a thickly packed brown envelope out of a locked drawer. It appeared to be filled to the brim with printer paper. Perhaps this was a manuscript for one of her works. The neat letters written with a fountain pen on the envelope spelled out the word Dawn. There was no forgery by the name of Dawn, which must mean. Anji could tell. This was a new one. Hachijo's newest, unreleased forgery.
Dawn of the Golden Witch.
For one such as I, who knows everything, everything is boring. However, I don't dislike letting the ignorant read my works to see what kind of reactions they have. And so I want you to read it.
You want me to read your newest work, which you've created as the new Endless Witch?
Correct, child of man. Whether you resent it or admire it, you can help me forget my illness for a time.
Literally talking exactly like them.
Let's put an end to this farce, shall we? Who are you? I don't remember ever meeting you like this. Yes, I did try to contact Hachijo Toya, but in the end, I never got a chance to meet her. In other words, all of this is a falsehood. Whose piece am I this time? Sorry, but if you think you can tame Ushiromiya Anja so easily, you're making a big mistake.
Yes, I hoped you'd be this interesting.
Is this going to be one of the ones we know, or is it going to be a brand new witch?
I don't know.
You did say there was someone even more powerful that we hadn't met yet. She finally couldn't hold it back and burst out laughing. Gradually, the space around them seemed to be filled with a strange purple mist. The room itself seemed to twist and bend.
Another new song. This one's called A Single Moment.
Her figure also twisted. And after something that couldn't be described elapsed, her form changed to become just what she had called herself. A witch. Whoa!
Now, in technicality, this character and the other are going to have different names, but unlike with Bernkastel and Erika, where I feel like they're distinct enough as characters, I
This is
think
the same
in this
person.
case, yeah, it's kind of like an alter ego, so I'm going to take her as well.
That's fine.
Anyway.
Splendid. You did well to see through my veil.
It seems I'm the type witches just love to cling to. You all have that same condescending tone towards humans. I figured you were a witch right away.
The novelist sitting on the sofa was nowhere to be seen. Even Anja's bodyguard. Dang it, I was hoping he just came with her this time. It would have been funny. It would.
Yeah. He would have just been like, whoa.
Yeah.
And that's it. That would have been...
Have you been seeing this the whole time, Anja? You can... Who was supposed to be around at times like this was gone. There was only a non-human figure relaxing in a large, ornate rocking chair.
I find you truly intriguing, child of man. Your charming nature is the perfect medicine for my boredom.
Yeah, well, I don't see anything charming about this. Why am I alive? Wasn't I killed in a pretty nasty way for breaking the rule about revealing my name? To be honest, I did doubt that those people would just let me go so easily. What kind of farce will I be forced to go along with this time?
So, this is also that Anja that died? It's not another one?
It certainly seems like it.
Is Anja Jesus?
You say that about too many characters
do.
in this
I
one.
do.
You say...
It's almost like they use a lot of Christian imagery and metaphors for things and analogies.
What kind of farce will I be forced to go along with this time? I don't really care. I'll just do whatever I can within the bounds of the role they give me. Whatever I can to help One-chan. Of course, I understand. Even if he wins, he'll never come back to me.
Well, hey, circumstances seem to have changed, Anja, so I wouldn't hedge all your bets just yet. Apparently you can stay alive after dying, so...
Even so, I'll struggle on. I'll make sure Oni-chan comes back to the me of that day.
No need to lose your temper. I'm not asking you to be at peace.
Then, why did you summon me here? Don't tell me you want me to read this new story or whatever it is you've written.
Nah, you get to do the fun part. You get to watch it.
That's it exactly. I do not want you to be my peace.
Anja's joining us on this side of the screen, guys.
I have always been a mere observer, and I have no intention of sticking my neck into their game.
Especially not after what happened last time.
I don't get it. What is it you want from me?
Be an observer for me. An observer of the fragments Beatrice has woven.
An observer? I don't really get it, but no deal.
In the past, I observed the fragments through Battler's eyes. However, now that he has succeeded the position of Game Master, he is not a suitable observer.
Hold up, what did you just say? No. What was that last part? What?
I am following this tale with true and earnest intentions. It would be such a waste to observe it through the eyes of Battler as he is now, like reading a detective novel backwards.
Oni-chan is the game master? What on earth are you talking about?
You must have no clue what it's all about. You want to know, don't you?
Just when she thought she was out.
They pulled me back in.
Yep.
I want to know too. What kind of tale will Battler weave now that he has taken the position of Game Master? Furthermore, I wish to search for the truth Battler reached as part of my own mental journey. My illness affects me gravely.
Simple. Go commit an atrocity for a young man and simply time loop him until he decides that this must
Buddy?
be a metaphor for love.
If only you knew, she already did that.
What?
Just not for a young man. If I do not think, I cannot even keep my heart beating.
So, you want me to read your new picture book aloud to you?
You might as well interpret it that way. In exchange, you will also be able to take part in your own journey of the mind. I do believe that even you have yet to reach the truth. I think you want to continue on the journey to find that truth.
Everyone's getting love today.
I don't owe you anything.
Do not push your luck.
Dang.
I can be lenient at times, but such cases are rare.
If anyone is the ultimate stubborn mule in this, it is Anja. So, well, I suppose Battler probably takes the cake for that now after last episode. Must run in the family. Anja hadn't yet reached the truth either. Though she knew that the game was little more than a toy for the amusement of those witches, she wanted it to resume so that she could follow the tale and close in on the king called Truth.
I might explore the tale to find the truth for myself, but I have no obligation to read it aloud until the end, for your sake. Understand?
Anja was willing to read the story aloud, but she could quit at any time if this witch made her mad. She was, in effect, warning the witch not to annoy her.
Of course.
What's that little pose she's doing? She's...
Point. You call it a picture book, but to me, it is the only medicine for a fatal illness. I cannot take that medicine without you to assist me.
Just wait until the witches learn about Tetris.
True. Or Fortnite. In
Never
other
bored
words,
ever again.
It's a mutually beneficial arrangement.
So, you're telling me to read you a book until you fall asleep? And in exchange, you'll let me read it too. Is that right?
Precisely. If you are willing to accept, I shall ask that you become my reader for a time.
Well, it's nice to get my own title. But all you really want me to do is read books, right?
Becoming my reader means the same as becoming my familiar. In other words, what is done against you will be done against me.
Hey, that's a pretty good deal.
I will not permit anyone to disrupt my only interest, that being to read the rest of Beatrice's tale. I will not let Bernkastel, Lambdadelta, or even Beatrice force anything upon you.
That's a pretty good deal, Anja. I'd take that deal. I'd take that deal, Anja. This witch, who seemed to have an almost divine quality to her, spoke both quietly and forcefully. We are getting kind of like an ethereal sort of music vibe right now too.
Yeah,
A lot-
it makes me think of Colin Stetson.
Yeah, a lot
He's
different.
the guy that did the
from
music for Uzumaki.
the other two witches so far.
Yes.
Well, I guess I should say three, Beatrice, but
yeah.
spoke both quietly and forcefully. Excuse me. There was no threat in her words. However, even so, it was clear that she was on a different level than Bernkastel and the other witches, and not at all to be taken lightly.
Is she Teddy Roosevelt?
I feel like it's that one meme of the what's it called? It's the curve. It's like the bell curve, where it's witch on the far left, Beatrice, least powerful of the witches, I like things to be elegant and have honor in games and fight against people to entertain myself. Witches in the middle, Bernkastel, Lambdadelta. We just like hurting people. Her all the way at the front end. I like to read things and have things be intelligent and elegant.
Maybe. Wouldn't say that. You'd have to see. I don't know how much they're gonna drop on you in this part of it. I hope they give you a little bit more.
So,
I hope they drop her name.
you'll offer me protection if I agree to read your book?
Of course. What I want is for you to read aloud to me. I will not spare any who attempt to stand in the way of that.
See, this would have gone so faster if I was in Anja's boots.
What? What do you mean by that?
She simply would have said, I want you to read from it, and I would have been like, done.
You sure it wouldn't have stopped at I want you?
She says, I want, and my pants are already on the ground.
You like this girl? You like this lady?
First impressions aren't bad right now, but they could change. They've changed with some of the other witches, so we'll have to see moving forward.
She's got a weird thing around her head.
She does have a weird crescent halo thing going on. I don't think those are horns. They don't look attached. Anja's considering very hard right now.
If my attitude seems arrogant to you, allow me to apologize, child of man. It may not seem so, but I am speaking to you with the utmost respect.
Yeah, probably. Even that witch-like style of speech feels like it's got to be the most respectful thing you've said in the last few hundred years.
When you're reading a book, do you tell it, "Thank you very much," before flipping through the pages?
You guys haven't been thanking your books?
Great idea. Thank you, book.
I guess it is like that. I understand.
Just by agreeing to have a conversation with Anja, she was showing an incredible amount of respect and a willingness to compromise. Anja shrugged, but she also nodded to show her consent.
Sure. I'll be your reader. I get that you showed a ton of respect just by asking for my consent first.
You understand well, child of man.
My name's Anja. Not child of man or whatever.
Very well. As proof of my respect for you, I will acknowledge your name.
That's big for witches. Wait, Anja knows that already, though. Maybe she forgot it. I don't know. She seems to be having memory problems.
Yep.
For her, acknowledging human names was like acknowledging the names of all the leaves scattered across the ground. Dang. So, her acknowledging Anja's name was a miracle. Well, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Who is she the witch of? What's her funny little thing?
I don't know if they'll say it. Well, I'm sure they will eventually say it, but I don't know if they'll say it soon. So stay tuned. Stay tuned.
No. It was immensely good fortune.
From this point forth, Ushiromiya Anje will serve as reader and Miko.
Shrine Maiden!
Hey, well, here we go.
To the witch of theater going, Featherine Augustus Aurora.
There's a witch for that?
And wouldn't you know it, it's one of the most powerful in the verse, if not the most powerful.
Honestly, considering how poetic and metaphorical Umineko gets sometimes, yeah. Also, what a name. What?
Yeah, and I will tell you something in a minute. I'll wait till we, Actually, you wanna pull up her tips?
Oh, true, it did just ding-a-ling, didn't it?
Yeah, and I will, while you're doing that, I'll tell you. So there's a big thing, spoilers for Higurashi Go Sotsu, for those of you that haven't caught up with that. But this was a huge moment. Go Sotsu obviously came out like 3 years ago now, or 2 years ago. this character appeared in it despite having not appeared in the original Higurashi. And in that, she looked a little different. And so people were like, oh, who is she? But then she ended up, by the person that's Lambdadelta, she ended up being called Aau,
Which is for Aurora.
Yeah. Well, she didn't say that, but the fact that she took that name, it's like I mean, they already looked similar to each other anyway, so it was like
The Higurashi verse only expands.
It's true. If only you
When They
knew the
Cry
significance. This character's significance in Higurashi is
Hey, we've already talked about
Bigly.
it. Eventually, I think we're gonna get around to doing Higurashi as well on this
True.
channel. It'll just be
Okay.
a long time from now.
I'm gonna throw one more gigantic spoiler, and I'm gonna hope you're either not gonna remember or it's not really gonna matter. Spoilers for Higurashi for those in the audience. Prepare yourselves.
I'm not listening. No, okay, go.
This character is responsible for the time looping in Higurashi.
Interesting.
Spoilers are over. You can open your eyes now.
Well, Feathering Augustus Aurora, the majestic witch of theater-going, drama, and spectating. She is tired of life after 1,000 years. Seems to be a constant trend among witches, and constantly repeats a cycle of life and death. In the past, she served as the master for several games as a legendary witch, but her legend, glory, and memory have already disappeared into the past and have been forgotten. Only the solemn medal she wears on her chest contains those memories. The horseshoe-shaped object floating around her head is a memory aid device. Oh, it actually does a thing. It is not just a decorative piece. It records her name, appearance, and other aspects of her personality. She is so old that she would not be able to preserve her own individuality without this. She looks serious in the little tips thing. Look at her. She's got a little. Her eyebrows are laced down, and she's staring straight forward at us.
And she's got a cane.
Interesting mix of Eastern and Western dress here.
Indeed, right? It's very interesting. I have my own theories on that, and honestly, if Jordan liked us, she could make probably a really good fashion theory on this.
True, but she hates us because she never watches these. And she's not even gonna know I said that.
Yeah, there's big potential here. It's bigly. The potential is bigly. Until you finish reading, I shall bring calamity to all who attempt to hinder your task.
Dang! When the Witch of Theater Going, Featherine, spoke of this, Anja was wrapped in a bright light.
Meow. She did just become a Miko.
Welcome back, Anja. You're pulled back in. Well, Anja didn't feel any particular change herself, but she definitely had been given something that only non-humans could sense. It signified that from this point forward, Anja would be the Witch of Theater-Going's subject. That didn't mean that Anja would gain some sort of special power, but at the very least, it probably meant that anyone wanting to cause her harm would first have to take on Featherine herself.
Your name is pretty long. Sounds like some Roman person from the history books. What should I call you?
Those not familiar with me call me Augustus Aurora.
After all the respect you've shown me, it's only fitting that I respond in kind. I'll call you Featherine. Any problems?
None at all. For an ailing witch such as myself, even being called by my first name will be an experience to be treasured and pondered over, child of man.
I have a name. It's Anja.
Even conversations like this are pleasant every once in a while. Anje, my Miko.
You've been claimed, Anja. Anja accepted her role. This is probably the best outcome you could have from a witch coming to you and being like, "Hey, I need you to be a piece." So Bernkastel on her way to be like, Anja, I need you again because my new one sucks.
If Bernkastel came in and saw this, yeah, Bernkastel would be like, ah!
Yeah. She would observe this story with the Witch of Theater going. Bernkastel coming in. No, 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 no.
Oh gosh.
The curtain was rising on the 6th tale.
Short introductory chapter. So that's going to be our framing device, if you couldn't
Wow.
tell, for this
Yep.
episode.
Yep. I'm genuinely, I'm happily surprised. That's the words I'm looking for. Happily surprised that Anja has come back. Wow.
Yeah. Now, I'm very excited because I really like Feathering. Just because she's like the strongest character in the verse, like I said before. So her appearance is always interesting to me because really with like the blink of an eye, she could just erase so much.
Seems to be the
But-
strongest character, and so far doesn't seem to be horribly evil like the other witches
Exactly.
are.
I saw a really good meme on one of the When They Cry subreddits that was in the text. It said in quotes, it was like, Feathering could neg-diff the whole verse of your favorite show. Feathering could do so much against your favorite character. And then it said Feathering in real time, and it was her sitting in a lazy boy chair with her mouth wide open asleep. And I was like, that's real, that's her. 'Cause as powerful as she is, she usually doesn't care.
She is old lady. She just want to read her books and be a lazy boy.
So I like her. So I'm excited that we have her introduction. I honestly thought that was next episode, but anyway.
Good first impression. I like her too, based off of what I've seen. At one time, only Beato and her fellow witches had gathered in this smoking room to chat. Now, however, an unusually large number of people were present.
I can already tell because they're doing the Great Detective Nose theme right now.
Yep.
I wonder what kind of game Battler's gonna show us.
I don't care what it is, as long as it's fun enough to relieve my boredom as I crush it.
Leave everything to me, my master.
I see where Erika gets it from now. Bernkastel loses once, immediately changes her entire personality and is openly like calling for battlers. Oh my goodness, my microphone stand just fell.
I could hear it. It was really funny. You said calling for battlers.
Yeah, openly calling for battlers' death.
Yep.
I will perform to my fullest and give you the results you desire.
Yeah, you better. I kept making strange faces all last game thanks to you. I hope I don't start getting wrinkles from all that.
There's no need to worry. The beauty of my master's face is without peer, no matter how wrinkly it may get.
That was the wrong thing to say, Erika.
Look, immediately.
It's rare to see Bern in such high spirits. Beato's game board really is something else.
How sad
my
it is that the
gosh.
master of this game board is no longer with us.
It's the congregation of the 4-letter words. I'm so happy. Anyway.
A tiger dies and leaves behind its hide. Looks like Beato died and left behind her game.
Even though chess still exists, no one knows the name of the person who invented it.
His name was Chest, idiot.
Oh, you're right.
C. Hess. Chester Hess.
True.
Poor game inventors.
Was that a Ryukishi? Did you put that in there?
Come to think of it, Battler-san really has kept us waiting, hasn't he? Is he still setting up the 6th game?
Gertrude, how have Lord Battler's preparations progressed?
Say it.
Please allow me to speak.
Yeah.
I knew it before it loaded in. Okay. I'm gonna say it again because that felt cheated, but please allow me to speak. Know that he will be finished very soon.
If he's kept us waiting this long, he must be pretty confident in his plan. He really humiliated me in front of my master last time. I'll defeat him no matter what it takes. And you in particular. Make sure you don't screw up again.
I will meet the challenge with all my strength.
The previous game master, Lambdadelta, had confirmed that Battler understood everything about Beato's game. However, in order to prove it, Battler would have to run this game by himself and carry it through to completion. In other words, if Erika could crush this game of Battler's, she would, in effect, wipe away the dishonor of that last game. Though Erika was chomping at the bit to get started, it was taking Battler quite some time to show himself.
Wow.
At that time, a swarm of gold butterflies popped into existence and took human form. From the shape of that familiar dress, everyone immediately realized who it was. Hello?
Ah, look, it's Beatrice's son. And I thought you died and disappeared last time.
The one who died last time was Beatrice the player. This is probably just a piece. Battler's piece. Even if she is a piece, it does not change the fact that it is her.
Beatrice gave an elegant curtsy as she appeared. This humble entrance was so vastly different from her usual high-pitched laugh that it made the long-awaited start of the 6th game feel even more ominous than it otherwise would have.
Okay, give me a second.
Father will be here very soon. I asked that you wait for just a short while longer. Father? The heck? Is that the new spin this time?
Not only had Beato started talking in an unusually polite manner, she had also used the word father, presumably referring to Battler. For an instant, everyone was stunned into silence, but they quickly realized that this was setting up some kind of theme, and they grinned. Beato wasn't the type who could keep up this kind of act for long. It would probably fall apart in a few seconds, leaving her cackling rudely at everyone. Erika, who was itching for a fight, went for Beato almost at once.
I can't believe that incompetent Battler-san reached the truth of your game. I'm sure Father understands it quite deeply. He really is good at that sort of thing. Still, you're pretty lucky. If Battler hadn't become the game master, you wouldn't have revived again. You really got the luck of the devil, don't you? The luck of the devil? Well, either way, I'm going to pay you back in full for last time. You're just one of Battler's delusions, so I'll erase every part of you and knock you down into the abyss of oblivion. I, too, cannot allow you such an easy victory. I, look forward to having a good, clean fight.
What is happening here? By this point, everyone realized that something weird was going on. There was no doubt that the face, the dress, and the hair were all Beatrice's. However, her expression was different. Even though she had Beato's face, Beato would never show anyone an expression like that.
Who are you?
There was a heavy silence. Lambdadelta spoke for everyone there. At first, Beato had worn a smiling yet blank expression. However, when she realized that the mood had gone suddenly stiff, her expression finally darkened and she hung her head.
Who are you?
You appear to be Lady Beatrice. But are you not?
Even Dlanor was forced to ask, despite the rudeness of the question. That was how much this woman, who appeared to be Beato, was not. Did she get like factory reset because player's dead?
Am I somehow different from the Beatrice everyone was expecting? What are you talking about? Wait a second. Don't tell me you have amnesia or something. I was only born recently, so I have no memories at all. However, I will study hard in order to become the Beatrice you all expect.
Is this me?
I think so. Yeah.
Beato, I thought I told you to stay in your room. Battler's voice came out of nowhere. His tone was very slightly cold. Beato's expression looked like that of a young girl being scolded. This is an interesting spin, Battler, that you put on this. I'll give you that. With a swirl of gold butterflies, Battler appeared. His dignified bearing and appearance were fitting for the ruler of this game. However, his expression was gloomy, and his gaze was directed at Beato. Go back to your room. You aren't supposed to be here.
I just wanted to help you however I could, Father.
Go. To your room. He spoke both softly and forcefully. Battler didn't leave her any room for debate. Beato hung her head and curtsied as she prepared to leave the room. Also,
Yes, what is it, Father?
my name is Battler. Never call me by a different name again.
Yes.
Beato melted into a cloud of gold butterflies and disappeared. This was the first part of the tale, with Battler as the game master. The witches had all assumed that he'd come forward with some flashy big developments, so this was all completely unexpected to them. Yeah, it's almost like you guys have been putting him through Vietnam times 50 for 5 games, so he doesn't care. Their mouths were still hanging open.
This is a pretty weird take on it.
Pardon me. Please forget what you saw just now.
You're playing dumb, but this is all just part of your plan, isn't it? You're scheming to give us the wrong impression, like another North Wind and Sun strategy, aren't you?
Is there something wrong?
Don't worry about it. It has nothing to do with you people.
I see. Guess it doesn't matter then. Okay, Battler. Start up the new game right away. You've kept us waiting so long, it's gotten totally boring.
Sure. Let's start the 6th game. Erika, and you too, Bernkastel. This will be my tale, proof that I've reached Beatrice's truth. Lambdadelta, please watch this game until the end, as a former game master.
Sure, looking forward to it. What's the title?
Dawn. As in, the dawn of the Golden Witch.
Sure, if we're talking about a winter sun that goes below the horizon right away.
Of course, my master. I'll drag it back down for you. At least your naming sense is good, though, Battler-san. I'll give you that much.
I'm glad you like it. Then, let's get started. The 6th game will now begin.
Do, do, do.
Battler solemnly announced the start of the game. Compared to his fired-up attitude at the end of the previous game, where he and Erika had sworn to settle everything next time, he was extremely quiet now.
It would have been really funny to double drop the opening cinematic sequence.
We're already back.
Immediately. Yeah, this is giving big episode 4 vibes with the flashes in the same chapter.
Yep.
Anje. Beato seems to have changed a lot since we last saw her.
I'm surprised too. I don't have a clue what's going on. I don't even get why Beato's alive in the first place. I just finished reading it a second ago, but at the end of the previous tale, didn't she die just before Battler reached the truth?
There are two kinds of death in this world.
Oh, are we actually going to get it explained to us?
One of them is when a piece is taken from the game board. Such a death exists only within the bounds of the game, and these lives can revive over and over again each time a new game begins.
That's why the witches are so merciless when it comes to taking those lives.
To the witch players, the lives of those characters who appear on the game board are no different from pieces on a chessboard that take other pieces and get taken. After all, these pieces will be set up again when the next game starts.
Maria's Sakutaro is a prime example of these.
Sakutaro is One-chan's piece. Yes, that makes sense. In the game board that represents the inside of One-chan's head, Sakutaro certainly does exist.
Okay, so the whole my world, your world thing that she was doing also kind of works for that. Everyone has their game board, supposedly.
And is a piece that always stays by her side. Though he's nothing more than a stuffed animal in the real world, on One-chan's game board, he's no less of a piece than any other. But I wonder, if he were a piece in a witch's game, it should be possible to revive him easily, right? But One-chan wasn't able to revive Sakutaro in her world.
Because she created that rule?
That's because she lost that completely unique stuffed animal that was his vessel. Because of this, the conditions for that piece's existence were violated, and it became impossible to revive him on Maria's game board.
Can you say completely unique in red for me, please?
No. The only reason you were able to revive Sakutaro on the game board was because you once again satisfied the conditions for his existence, correct?
True.
I forgot that happened.
Yeah.
It makes me sad to think about.
Yeah. Episode 4 moment.
Maria One-chan was only unable to revive him because she had lost the stuffed animal that was his vessel. If, like the rest of my family on Beato's game board, she hadn't needed a vessel for him, she would have been able to revive him as often as she wanted. I get it. It makes sense that Sakutaro was One-chan's piece. At least, as long as his vessel was okay, he could have been revived over and over again.
Correct. As long as his vessel is safe, he can be revived over and over again. That's what the life of a piece is like.
That's the first kind of death in this world. What's the second?
That's the death of beings outside the game board. To continue with the Sakutaro example, this would be like Maria's death.
You mean, not her death as a piece, but the death of the real One-chan, right?
Not necessarily. Loss of interest or concern would have the same effect. When Maria outgrows playing with stuffed animals, Maria the game player will die. It's as quick and easy as turning off the switch on a TV when you get bored of it.
I see. In that case, Beato the player completely gave up on winning during the last game, so she died and vanished. Which means If Beato ever comes back, thinking she's got a chance of defeating Onechan, that means she'll come back to life, right?
Logically, that is true. It's the same for humans, witches, and even gods. If they lose interest and concern, they can die at any time. And if they regain that interest, they can revive at any time. However, though the concept of time does not exist in the world of gods, and they can revive whenever they want, time shoots by like an arrow in the human world, and it isn't so easy there.
That's true. Skipping school for one day might not be a problem, but if you skip for 3 days in a row, it'd be really hard to convince yourself to go back.
And what if that stretched out for a month, a year, a decade, or 1,000 years, like in the world of witches?
I see. If you skip class for that long, it'd mean your death, socially. After being dead that long, not only would you be unable to catch up on all you missed in the world at large, you'd also lose any motivation you might have had when you left. So even though you'd be alive, it'd be fair to say that you died once. You would never again be able to regain the self that you once were. It would never come back to life.
Beato lost any chance or hope of winning. Even though she knew this, she pretended not to and kept on fighting for many, many games. So, Beato will not return. Her hopes were crushed. She spent all of the willpower that she might have used to regain the will to fight. Therefore, that Beatrice will never revive again.
That Beato, who just sat around the whole time with empty eyes in the 5th game, must have been her corpse. She managed to remain on the game board despite it all, but then, even that corpse was wiped away. If Beato had been the game master at that time instead of Lambdadelta, the game board itself would have vanished at that moment, and everything would have ended. Come to think of it, Beato started to lose the will to fight back near the end of the 4th game. When Beato loses her will to fight, the world of this game disappears. However, the witches wanted to keep playing in this board game world, so Lambdadelta bound Beato in place with that cursed shackle. She used that shackle to fix the game board in place and prevent it from disappearing, even if Beato did lose the will to fight. In chess, this would be the equivalent of removing the set time limit for each turn, making it endless. However, simply having the game endlessly paused on Beato's turn would cause the witches to die from their illness of boredom. That's why Lambdadelta took the position of Game Master. Starting then, Beato's existence was no longer one of the conditions necessary for the game's existence. That's probably why the shackles binding her to the game board were released. And that explains why she disappeared in the 5th game.
So, when Onechan managed to reach the truth, it was one game too late for him to tell Beato about it.
The 5th game was a form of charity on Lambdadelta's part. She merely showed Battler some mercy as the Witch of Certainty, acknowledging his strong desire to reach the truth no matter what.
How can you call that charity? It's just those fickle witches killing time. Let's get back to the point. So, that means this weird Beato isn't the player Beato. She's just a piece Beato.
True. If that is the case, she should eventually become the Beato everyone knows. I imagine that is the Beato that Battler wants.
You mean... he wasn't satisfied with just a doll? When playing with dolls, one can project the personality they most desire onto the doll. However, since you are acting out their part, nothing unexpected can ever happen. You cannot hope for any unanticipated happiness. In the human world, there is nothing so boring as pre-established harmony. That's why, though a doll can become a person's best friend in the world, people eventually get bored and outgrow them. One-chan only wants the real Beato. He couldn't bear having a doll that only acted like Beato.
A Beato born as Battler's piece would probably move according to Battler's wishes.
That's only natural for a piece. Pieces move however their players tell them to, and they can't do anything else. I see what it is One-chan wants. So what's up with this weird Beato?
Battler might be trying to revive Beato in the truest sense. That is the never-dying dream held by children of man.
You just used the red to say that wasn't possible.
But gold has been used to contradict red before.
That Beato will never revive. However, that doesn't mean that it is impossible for Beato to be born again. Have you forgotten? I believe that Bernkastel herself revealed Beato's true form at the end of the first game.
Oh god, that's so long ago, Aurora. That's so...
And now I remember. She said something about how Beato exists as the incarnation of a rule.
Information began to be accumulated based around that rule. And in the end, it took the form of the witch known as Beatrice. If that pattern is followed once more, the same Beatrice will be born again.
Okay.
And perhaps one could call that a resurrection.
Okay, we're so back.
Yeah.
In other words, that weird Beato is Beato as an egg? Or maybe a chick.
Okay, so that's very funny that they say that, because in all the wikis for that, for this Beato,
Don't tell me she's called, like, Egg Beato.
close, she is specifically referred to as Chick Beato.
Dang.
So, for your own reference there.
That interpretation is probably accurate. In short, this Beato is a chick who might grow to become that Beato.
And that means this pure and lovable kid will eventually grow up into that screwed up crazy witch. Oh, Nichan, your taste in women. In other words, that Beato is a baby version of the Beato we all know. So, just like how no person is born evil, the newborn Beato isn't evil either. Even though she really is a different person, if you measure her by her root, or perhaps her soul, then maybe you really could call this a resurrection. However, this reality can't possibly be easy to accept. Though she may technically be Beato herself, she is also, without a doubt, a different person. And that way she acts would make anyone feel as though something's out of place.
How entertaining. Hearing you read aloud is far from boring.
I doubt you even really need someone to read aloud for you. It looks like you already know everything.
I only reached that thought because I am engaged in a conversation with you. My thoughts are more numerous than the stars in the sky. I only appear to know everything to a child of man like you. However, without you here, I am nothing but a weak, sickly person without even the power to think.
If you just said that in the first place, I would have agreed to read for you a lot more easily.
My mood just happened to improve.
Dang.
Don't get an overswelled impression of yourself. Your life means less to me than a leaf one has lost after using it as a bookmark.
Please keep reading already. Is that pretty much what you're trying to say? Okay.
Far from boring. You really do make an excellent Miko.
Did she always have the heads ring in questions?
I couldn't recall. I can double check though.
Because she's got it right there. That's a
I
little
know.
tidbit that I noticed. Which I assume she should have it because she's the last Ushiromiya in her timeline. So
Yeah.
also that
I'd be-
stance is very much giving Battler that she's in
Yeah.
right now.
Okay. Yeah, it is. She definitely did have the ring before. It's just we usually don't get that sprite.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's cut off by the bottom. It's kind of like right now how Featherine's cane is completely invisible, so it looks
Yeah.
very awkward.
Yep.
The way she's her arms out.
Featherine rocked back in her rocking chair and looked up at the ceiling. Baba.
Yeah.
Baba-chan. Laughing as though the conversation itself was pleasant for her. You thought Virgilia was our gilf. Anja was slowly figuring out how to deal with this strange witch. This person was also bored. It's not uncommon for a sick person who's bored from being bedridden for a long time to start acting rebellious.
As a quick side tangent, I do gotta say I really, really enjoy again as well how I would say in the Higurashi verse, but most apparently in Umineko, at least I don't know Kokonia. The counteract to somebody being like omnipotent and super strong is they get so bored they become brain dead.
Yep.
It's very cool. I like that balance. It's like you reach, I don't know what you would even call that, like ego death, basically.
Yep.
I like that balance for like godlike entities.
Ego death, but not in the good way that humans get ego death.
Mm-hmm.
In a very, very bad way.
Yep.
On the other hand, they can also get a little bored of being treated kindly all the time. Talk to me. Talk to me harder. She may want to be shown respect for her superiority, but it's probably more interesting for her when she's spoken to rudely. You picked the perfect person, Featherine.
Right?
What a coincidence. What?
That's exactly how I used to be. Anyway, from what we learned in the fourth game, there's no doubt that there's been some kind of antagonism between Beato and One-chan in the past. Learning about this Beato might give us a key to finding the truth.
It does seem so. It has caught my interest as well. Let's read her tale, too.
Oh, sure. As you wish, my master.
When Anja raised her hands like a conductor, the bookshelves in this bizarre study responded. Once again, several books floated out and began to swirl around Anja. Finally getting Beatrice lore. Kinzo's study is the room belonging to the master in the human world. So this study, in the world of non-humans, belonged to the master of the game board, and was a place where he could look down upon the humans. Therefore, one could hardly be blamed for mistaking the imposing, berobed man in the center of the study for Kinzo, if only for a second.
So, If he's inheriting this after Lambdadelta, there's got to be like candy strewn about everywhere, right?
He's cleaned it up. He's got it out of there. That's why he was taking so long. That's why.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Kinzo. This was Battler, the one who had taken up the position of Game Master, becoming the new territory lord of this world. Around Battler was a swirl of glowing fragments sparkling like the night sky, and on the floor was what appeared to be a red magic circle. To an outsider, it would seem to be nothing more than an incomprehensible geometric shape. But to Battler, who stood at its center, it was the outline for a new tale. A new line grew across the magic circle, following Battler's gaze. Then, at the instant it connected with a complicated symbol, the entire magic circle flashed brightly. This track going hard too.
Indeed. This one is apparently not new. It's called Surrounding.
So, how does it look? It is splendid, Master. The 6th game is complete. As Battler wiped his forehead and finally relaxed, Genji, who was standing behind him and watching over his every move, nodded deeply in response. I always thought being a game master meant you could make the tale however you want. But this is seriously harder than I thought. You must write up multiple tales and make the inner and outer sides of the story match. Though truly, you have displayed such skill. It is hard to believe that this is your first time. I believe even Erika-sama will be satisfied with this game. Oh, she'll be satisfied. Well, hopefully it matches the great detective's tastes. I mean, she ends up wanting to marry you because of it, Battler, so... Still, I've gotta honestly respect Beato now. She did this 4 times. I can hardly believe that she managed to make tales that complicated and do it so easily. Easily? Far from it. Beatrice-sama also worried and worried, racking her brain over various contradictions each time she created a tale. She was constantly battling with logic errors. With what? Logic errors?
Yeah, logic errors.
I don't like that. It doesn't sound good. That is when the two sides of the tale do not meet, creating a contradiction. When this happens, it becomes a fatal violation of the rules known as a logic error, and the game board will immediately collapse and be destroyed. I feel like I know what happened to Battler this episode. It is the greatest and worst form of error that the witch side can make, and one which must always be avoided. Battler got trapped in a logic error, didn't he?
You don't know that.
I'm using context clues for Pertuset.
Subtle foreshadowing.
Yeah. So, Beato got close to bumping into those many times in her games? She fought with them every time she created a game. I believe it grew even more difficult for her as you became a more formidable opponent. So, do you think this game I've made is good enough to show Beato? Yes, of course. Beato. She hasn't woken up yet, has she? Egg. It's been a while since her body was formed as a personification of the rules. Is she still not awake? After remaining silent for a while longer, Genji answered. She woke up 3 days ago. You were concentrating on the construction of the 6th game, So I decided to wait before telling you. My sincere apologies. Oh, really? Yeah, I'll bet she was all drowsy after sleeping for so long. I've really wanted to show her my game. No, it's more than that. I have to show her. I need to tell her that I've understood everything.
Just in, Battler has game.
True. I really need to show her my game.
Yeah, this one.
Battler's face broke into a smile. There was no trace in his expression of the hatred he had once felt towards Beato for murdering his family. What a line.
And yet it makes complete sense.
It does. It does.
In a way, that was the final riddle of the 5th game.
Yes. When Battler reached the truth, there was a great change in his impression of Beato.
So, should we assume that there really was something between Oni-chan and Beato? And that he forgot all about it?
Certainly seems that way. You forgot. Your sin is you forgot. However, Battler suspected this in the 4th game and asked Beato about it. According to the tale, this was denied by the Red Truth. 6 years ago, no person called Beatrice existed for Battler. Okay, but she could have just had a different name. She could...
We can read this as saying that Beato did not exist 6 years ago.
It just happened. You're quiet.
No, why?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, wait a minute. At least it's not my screen, so I can easily do this. Okay, ready? Woo! Am I loud yet?
Nope.
Okay. Woo! Am I loud?
Yup.
Okay, I turned it back down. This should be what it was at. Is it too loud still?
That's it. You're on the money.
Okay.
I don't know what does it. I don't know
I
what
don't know
causes it.
either. I was doing nothing. Anyway, do I need to reread the line?
Maybe.
I'll just do it all in one bunch.
We can read this as saying that Beato did not exist 6 years ago. Or it could simply mean that she had no connection to Battler at that time. However, either way, Battler did not visit Rokkenjima at all for the next 6 years.
October 4th, 1986 should have been the first time Beatrice and Oni-chan met. If so, why was there already some kind of antagonism between them? I don't have a clue what it means.
That sin of Ushiromiya battlers, which Beato took Battler to task for in the 4th game, might give us a clue. The result of that might have been Beatrice herself.
The result? The result of Oni-chan's sin was... Beato. That almost sounds as though Oni-chan created the witch called Beatrice himself. But that's crazy. That couldn't possibly be...
Almost as though Beatrice was Battler's piece.
Huh?
Battler sinned 6 years ago. Because of that sin, people died. The one doing the killing was Beatrice. If you consider the possibility that everything is connected to Battler's sin 6 years ago, then the one who created Beatrice was Battler himself. I thought it sounded almost as though she was Battler's piece.
I don't get it. Even if Oni-chan sinned in some way, his crime couldn't have been anything close to murder. If this huge massacre is in retaliation for what he did, then it's totally out of proportion. Beato killed our family. Dad, Mom, Oni-chan, everyone. I can't believe that Oni-chan's sin was anything deserving of that.
The weight of a sin depends on the person measuring it. Even a sin so light that Battler might have forgotten could have been so serious to Beato that she hated him enough to massacre his whole family a full 6 years after the fact. Well, even I find that a bit excessive.
Dang.
And more importantly, if she were a person like that, I would find it hard to accept that Battler would act so friendly towards her after discovering the truth.
What if he's just into women like that?
No way, really?
He's so happy.
Mm-hmm.
Featherine's observation was an interesting one. In a past game, Beato clearly I'm sorry, this is Anja.
In a past game, Beato clearly said that Oni-chan's sin 6 years ago was the cause of this 2-day tragedy. I still don't know what kind of sin that was.
You and me both, Anja. We're in the dark together.
However, he figured out what it was at the end of the 5th game, and he even apologized to Beato, even though she was the witch who had massacred his entire family in retaliation for his sin of 6 years previous. Battler apologized to her, and unhelpfully left out the part about what he was apologizing for. Of course, it was the player Battler who apologized, not the peace Battler whose family had been murdered over and over again. But even so, Battler must have remembered something at the end of the last game that made him feel like apologizing. Does that mean this sin from 6 years ago is hidden somewhere in the tales we've seen so far?
Supposedly.
I have already formed a certain theory on that matter.
Oh? Let's hear it.
I cannot tell you yet.
Baba.
I want to enjoy being the only one who knows the answer for a little while longer.
Thanks.
Well then, guess I'm done reading for you.
Take that back.
Well, we can't have that, can we? Have some patience and read a bit further. My theory is still nothing more than a guess. Once I'm certain of it, I'll tell you.
Okay, my master. I actually do want to hear what comes next, after all. Just what kind of connection do Oni-chan and Beatrice have with each other? Understanding that will probably give me a massive clue towards finding the truth of this world. After all, because he remembered that, he was able to reach the truth.
Am I young?
Are you young?
Am I like a little or Battler in this?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Beatrice! I didn't know if this was like a flashback to 6 years ago.
Oh, no, I don't believe that it is. I think this is
This is Battler's mind palace.
Well, he just heard from Genji. They were like, he woke up, so he's like,
yeah.
woo!
Yeah, I got yeah.
Welcome, Master. Beatrice-sama is waiting for you. This way, please.
This place was a villa set aside for Beatrice's use. It was a sacred site for her only, built so that she could spend her days without being affected by the outside world. My heart began to race. I'm so glad that she was able to revive and that everything's okay. Beato is a personification of the rules, so even though she was destroyed once, it's possible for her to be reborn again. Battler had quickly succeeded in reviving Beato's body, but he had trouble summoning her soul back. However, during the time he'd spent immersed in the creation of the 6th game, she had woken up. And this had happened 3 days ago.
3 days.
Surely there will be no complications. Battler let himself be led into the dining hall. The dining hall had been set up for his and Beato's use. It existed so that they could enjoy some black tea while having conversations that were only possible now that he had reached all of the truth. I want to tell her. I want to tell Beato that I've found the truth. Battler couldn't hold back his excitement over this miracle he'd been granted, the miracle of Beato waiting for him in the dining hall to hear what he had to say. How is Beatrice? Same as usual? Is she doing well?
Oh, yes, she is doing quite well. She has been waiting for you all this time, Master. Oh, yes.
So she's in the dining hall. Is she eating or something? That's okay. It doesn't matter either way.
Oh, you'll be surprised.
Beatrice! This isn't the dining hall. When he swung open the doors to the dining hall, that's a small table for a dining hall, Battler was greeted by a wonderful sight. Though the food laid out on the table wasn't particularly sensational, don't got Goda, it was arranged beautifully, and a champagne bottle stood there waiting. Then, a person clad in that familiar dress with the beautiful golden hair bowed deeply in greeting. But, Beatrice.
You have my sincerest gratitude for giving me this form.
Ding, 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 ding. Ding-a-ding. The new witch, who was revived from the rules. She has not lived 1,000 years, and her behavior is vastly different from how it once was. She's a witch who doesn't even know how to use magic. However, she has no fear of magic circles or spider webs. It's almost as though she's just a human. She's attached to Battler and makes it her goal to do whatever she can for him. Oh, this episode's gonna be weird.
This one and the next one, I think, are the weirdest of all.
Okay.
It's gonna test your reading comprehension. You gotta look into subtext hard for this and the next one.
Okay.
Good luck!
I don't know what you mean by that, but okay.
I mean, it's just... You can take things at face value, but if you want the fullest experience, you're gonna have to try to read into some things.
Okay.
And then hope that you're right into what you're reading into.
Okay. Come on, don't worry about that. I'm so glad. Beato. Battler rushed up to Beato and hugged her tightly, just to make sure her body wasn't just mist or an illusion. I solved your riddle for you. But then, before I could tell you about it, you went and disappeared.
Very Romeo and Juliet, by the way. I don't know if we said that last time, but...
I am right here. I will not disappear.
It's okay, you can stop talking like that. I'm not gonna ask you for anything in return. Anyway, I want to apologize, and I want to talk with you. I don't even know where I should start.
You have done nothing that you need to apologize for, Father. I'm glad just to be of service to you.
Beato?
Beatrice was born for your sake, Father. Please, let me support you. And Father, congratulations on completing the 6th game.
I told you. Stop talking like that. You're creeping me out.
Do you find this style of speech displeasing? Please forgive my rudeness.
Well, I don't find it displeasing, but it's not like you. I guess I like the way you usually talk best. Beato smiled, vaguely. To Battler, it probably looked as though they were both smiling at the unusual way she was talking.
You know what's really funny? This is, there's something very similar that happens in the guy that made Chainsaw Man's other work, Fire Punch. I won't say much else, but IYK, YK.
However, Beato's smile literally was vague and uncertain. After all, she didn't know how she was supposed to talk. Anyway, Beato, just what kind of joke is this? Don't tell me that the great Beatrice-sama decided to cook for me.
When I heard that you had completed the 6th game, I wanted to see if I could prepare a modest reward to congratulate you. Ho ho ho. Beatrice-sama really worked hard to make this. I didn't even need to lend a hand at all. No, I didn't.
The foot sat on the table. The foot.
The foot.
The food set on the table was modest and inexpertly made. You could tell by looking at it that Beato, who wasn't particularly skilled with cooking, had given it her all. However, signs of discomfort and irritation were beginning to appear on Battler's face. What's going on here?
Well, as she said, Beatrice-sama wishes to congratulate you.
Sweat was starting to show up on Kumasawa's forehead. Did they think they were, like, gonna pull this over on him? Did they?
He ain't gonna notice.
Yeah, like, did they think they were just gonna get it by him? Like, she was also feeling uneasy.
Also, just as a brief, can we talk how funny it is that Super Sorcerer Battler's best idea of servants / helpers is Genji and Kumasawa right now?
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
When he noticed, Battler realized that it wasn't just his imagination. Beato turned her back to Battler and stuck a corkscrew into the champagne bottle. Then she showed it to Battler.
Father, congratulations on the completion of the 6th game. In the hopes that you'll prove victorious over your longtime rival, Furudo Erika.
When presented with a champagne bottle and a sound like that, anyone would think that the cork had been pulled out. However, it wasn't the cork.
Was it the bottle?
It was the bottom of the bottle.
Oh.
The high-quality champagne that Beato had procured splashed out all over the floor and her dress. Aww.
No, what happened?
Then, the same sound repeated several more times. Each time, one of the plates of food on the table was knocked into the air. Uh-oh. Battler's angry.
Father, did you find the food displeasing?
Don't take it out on her, Battler. She doesn't know anything. Who are you?
I am Beatrice. I was born for your sake, Father.
That's not right.
Huh?
Who is this? This isn't Beato. And anyway, don't call me father. What's going on here? What is this? Didn't I revive Beato? Genji, what is this all about? My apologies, but that is indeed Beatrice-sama. Are you kidding me? How is this supposed to be Beato? She's totally wrong, a fake! No, this is Beatrice-sama. This is, without a doubt, Beatrice-sama, who was born in accordance with the rules of the game board. No, this isn't anything like Beato. Beato would always talk in that weird way and laugh rudely and... No, this is most certainly Beatrice-sama herself. Then why is she talking like that? Why is she calling me father?
Beatrice-sama was only born a short while ago. It would be far too cruel to expect her to act as she once did so soon.
Are you saying that her memory hasn't returned yet? Master, this person truly is Beatrice-sama herself. However, she is not the Beatrice-sama you know so well. What are you talking about? I'm the game master, right? Why can't I revive Beato?
Beatrice-sama has revived. However, the old Beatrice-sama lived for 1,000 years. This Beatrice-sama, on the other hand, was only born a short while ago. If she appears to be a different person, well, it just can't be helped.
Then, how can I revive that Beato? Her body is right here. How can I revive her soul? If she lives the same 1,000-year life again, she should become the same Beatrice-sama she was before. Are you telling me to wait 1,000 years?
A person's personality isn't decided solely by their birth. It can change drastically based on how they live and what they experience. Oh, now we're getting into my territory of psychology. Tabula rasa.
Oh, we're back in the real world. Mm-hmm. Supposedly.
Do you understand? Even though she is the same Beato, she is not the same.
For Amakusa, is this just them talking about the book?
I like to think, again, he was in fact, like, they said he wasn't in that world, but he just, like,
He
hid.
just was.
Yeah.
He just didn't talk the entire time, and he was like, what's going on?
I don't think he would be surprised. I think he would just be like, this is new.
I always knew there was something weird going on inside your head, lady.
Yep, yeah.
I get it. Even if you had two of the exact same person, they could change enormously depending on their upbringing.
Even though they might both be the same human to start with, their upbringing could change them so much that they effectively become two completely different people. Usually we use the term person to refer to a person, not their personality.
You told me to read into it, and I think I'm reading into it way too hard right now.
Yeah.
I have a theory.
Okay, well, are you cracking it now, or are we waiting?
I'm gonna try. I'll get a little tap. Give it a little tap on the side of the skillet.
Okay.
What if? Hear me out. This might be crackpot right now.
Mm-hmm.
What if this happened to Battler, and Beatrice is trying to get the Battler she knew back, and in that process, doing this over and over again, it resulted in her death because she thought it wasn't gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just so happened to do it right after she lost all hope and gave up. I don't know.
For right now, I'm just going to tell you that we use the term person to refer to a person, buddy.
Okay. Amakusa, how do you feel about this?
However, since humans recognize a person by their personality, those two might as well be different people from a human perspective.
That's so true. So true, bestie. If that tragedy 12 years ago hadn't happened, this little lady of ours might be a cute girl who could smile without looking weird.
That's rude. I'm plenty cute as it is.
True. Give her the respect she deserves, Amakusa.
She's not gonna like hearing this. She was made to be Bernkastel's piece. I'm almost certain that Bernkastel said like almost the same line, or a very similar line, by the way.
I understand. If a personality is what makes a person in our eyes, you could probably say that a second personality represents a different person entirely, even if it inhabits the same flesh body.
What does that say then about Erika? If Anja is like Bernkastel's perfect piece, Especially because she has this, like, non-deferential attitude to Bernkastel. What does that say about Erika, I wonder? What is...
Well, I mean, we do hear a few times we heard Bernkastel being like, "I hate you." So,
You're not my
Yeah.
favorite. I have 2 daughters, and one is very definitely my favorite. Oh. Where was I in this? Did I read all of this
you
yet?
finished it.
Okay.
Flesh. At the very least, I'm a completely different person than I used to be 12 years ago.
It's so many lamps.
And if my family had come home 12 years ago, then the Anja that resulted would surely be a completely different person from me. Even a single human can become a different person.
Sorry, Okay, this one was confusing me because I thought there was something inside of it from the decal on it. Never mind.
Huh? Oh, well, I was just counting. There's 15 lights in this single shot of this
Dang.
room.
How many
and
clocks?
3 clocks. No, 4. 4
Four
clocks.
He's pulling his clock out.
In fact, depending on their upbringing and endless possibilities, they can become an endless number of different people.
Endless, you say?
So, just because this is Beato, there's no guarantee that she'll become the Beato that Onichan knows so well. And on top of that, Beatrice is a witch who lived 1,000 years. People can die and be reborn in just 3 days. 1,000 years is such a huge amount of time.
It seems you're quite a skilled reader.
From the Bible.
For most of my readers, it would be necessary to spend several hundred pages to explain
Really?
how a single person can become different people depending on their upbringing and time.
Really? It seems
You
like
don't know her readers.
It seems like a fairly simple concept to me, but I don't know. Maybe that's me being pretentious. Oh, okay, Anja's with me, I guess.
Don't underestimate your readers. We aren't just reading. We read, and we think.
If I make 100 people read it, about 90 will be able to. However, only 50 will actually understand what it means. And not even 20 will actually think beyond that. And all I ask is that they think it over a bit. Nothing more than that.
Okay, she's the one who does the intellectual intercourse.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing right now. That's what
It's
this
an
is.
invitation.
Yeah, it's invited. There's consent. She respects you, as shown with Anja. And Anja
You
accepted.
have to sign up for it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I feel like is happening right now in my brain reading this. It's not so rough as Erika is, but it's still very intellectual. It's
However, it seems that you are one of those precious 20 readers. That's why I invited you here, child of man.
It was seriously hard to like this Hachijo Toya person. However, though this forgery she had written was still in its first stages, it definitely felt as though it contained something very similar to the tales in those message bottles. Speaking metaphorically, one might call it a scent.
sniff snoff. Sniffer.
An indescribably unique and stern atmosphere, like a stuffy library. The Beatrice who wrote the message bottles and Hachijo Toya are different people. And yet, this has the same scent as that tale. I see. This is why some of those curious witch hunters are so intensely devoted to her. Their keen sense of smell was able to sniff out that familiar scent.
Very well then. Please continue reading. There could be nothing more entertaining than watching your face as you glance over the words. That, and speaking with you.
I guess it's true that writers are always starving for opinions on their works. However, sorry to disappoint you. I don't have time to read all the way through this thick manuscript. More importantly...
And yet, you have plenty of time.
Both the second hand and the pendulum on the ornate clock behind Hachijo had been moving the whole time. However, absolutely no time had passed for a while now. Only about 3 minutes had gone by since the time she had entered the room. I think if you laid out everything we have read with the two of them together, it would be more than 3 minutes by a long shot.
I think that's what they're,
See? Time isn't one of your problems. No sort of time will chase you away until you've finished reading.
Next page, lady. Next page. Amakusa badgered me to turn the page, so I returned to the world of the tale once more. I need to remember that generally when we're in Anja territory, she is the narrator.
yeah.
Why does her tail have the same scent as Beatrice's, I wonder?
Which,
Perfume.
they use the same brand. They...
Tea. No.
Is it because she actually has reached the truth, as she claims?
She loves Beatrice too?
Mm-hmm.
Does this mean that anyone who knows the truth could create an endless number of message bottles? Is that how the Catbox world works? I see. I guess she might also be an endless witch. In fact, maybe anyone who knows the truth can become an endless witch. An endless tale created by the endless witches. The 2 days starting on October 4th, 1986, where my family is being toyed with endlessly. I have to end it. I have to find a hint of the truth from within this story and end this endless tale.
What do you think, Beato? How's this 6th game I've made? Well, you're not the type to give me an honest compliment anyway. You'd probably say something more like, not bad for an incompetent fool like you.
Not bad for an incompetent fool like you.
Now that I've seen what it's like to be a game master, it's pretty clear. I wasn't the only one who had it rough each and every game. Creating a game is far from easy. I certainly never expected us to recognize each other's efforts like this.
Creating a game is far from easy. I certainly never expected us to recognize each other's efforts like this.
Oh, so now we're just mimicking? No? All wrong. Yeah, that's what I figured this was.
Yep.
This isn't Beato. Battler slammed hard on the desk, but the piece Beato showed no reaction. After all, Battler hadn't ordered her to react. It would be easy to revive that Beato as a piece.
What was it? There's that Yakuza gif, the famous Yakuza gif of him slamming the table.
Yep.
Yeah.
However, he's kind of dressed like him too. However,
Yeah.
it would only move according to Battler's wishes. Having a conversation with it was no different from talking to himself.
Hey, we already talked about that with the doll.
Yep. The Game Master could summon any kind of piece. He could move those pieces in any way he wanted, reigning as an absolute god. However, for that very reason, they were just pieces that made it unbelievably lonely and sad. You created many kinds of furniture, as well as several tales in the past. When I saw that, I was sure you were having a great time doing it.
I think that's still her saying that? Maybe.
But that's all wrong.
You were unbelievably lonely. I'm not sure.
I will be reading this, I guess, until we know otherwise.
It must have been such a relief for you, having an opponent like me who could actually go against you.
No, that's gotta be Battler. He's the only one that says yeah.
I think what this is implying, though, is the whole
She's, like,
talking to
reading it
yourself
back?
bit.
Yeah, okay.
So this is Battler, but it's through Beatrice's voice because he's talking to himself.
Yep, okay.
Yep, I'm painfully aware of that now.
That weird, polite Beato really was you, wasn't she? The way you were 1,000 years ago. Dang, you're looking at her baby pictures.
And yet, she's a different person.
The way she looks just like you is what I really can't get over. This one looks like her. I can't stand it.
However, she isn't a piece, so she can go against my will.
That Beato is much more alive than a piece like you. I get that. But it's all wrong. That isn't you. She's a completely separate person, like a long-lost little sister or something. Hey, now. And that's why I just can't accept her. As much as he hated the peace version of Beato, Battler felt an even stronger dislike for the chick Beato. Even after a whole 1,000 years, she still wouldn't become the original Beato. Even if she were ordered to act like the original Beato, it would just be an imitation. This was a very similar but separate person, and definitely not Beato herself. But what if you could get her to remember? So, in the previous game, Beato really did disappear for all eternity. Even after becoming the Game Master, there was no way to revive her. Laugh. Laugh at how pathetic I am. Just give it a rest already. You're just an illusion who won't laugh unless I order it. And who can't even continue to laugh unless I keep on ordering it. Just disappear.
That's the chapter.
That's the chapter.
Oh, well. That's probably the good place to end it since we're back in prologue mode.
Poor Battler.
Poor everyone, really.
Yeah. I feel like Battler's gonna get depresso this episode for a bit.
I also feel bad for Chick Beato.
I feel really bad for her too because she did the baby.
Yeah, she don't really know.
She doesn't know what
what
she's
she's
Look at how
doing.
innocent her face is. She doesn't know
Yeah.
what's happening.
You know who I don't feel bad for? Feathering. Yeah, that one.
Determined she is.
She's chilling, man.
Yeah. She's just reading. Feathering is us pilled. She
Yeah.
is
One-
the reader of Umineko.
An actual possible interpretation of the fact that she hasn't been in the game so far is that she was snoozing. And then, like, by episode 5 or 4, she went like, what? And then, like, saw what was going on and was like, oh, I gotta get in on that.
Yeah.
Like, which is really funny to
She
me.
forgot to buy questions arc.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
yep, that'll do it.
pretty good so far. I'm glad. Again, they gotta give us a down note after having such triumph at the end of episode 5 in the question marks.
Yep.
But at
It's
the
like
same
what
time,
I said.
they gave me Anja back, so I couldn't be happier.
My thing still so far is that every even chapter is a like a, I wouldn't call it a setup chapter, but those are the ones that open with a lot of huh.
That's what I'm calling them there. I'm calling
yeah.
them the "This Sucks" chapter.
I don't know. It's like it's when they give you a bunch of exposition because episode 2 is when you got the whole dates with Shannon and Canon and George and Jessica,
True.
and then 4 was lots of reading about Anje,
Yep.
and now we got a lot of exposition here. Whereas I think
was
the
also
the
a lot
odd
of
numbered
Maria,
ones,
too.
yeah, but the odd numbers are the action ones where they're like go go go.
We did have an entire knowledge meta sword fight in episode 5.
And I'm not opposed to that.
We had
Even the evens and the odds still have their like. It's not
their
solely
individual
that.
charms. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like episode 2, 4, and 6 are solely
Yeah, no,
exposition.
because there was the whole action sequence in 4 where the cousins
Yes.
fought the. I wonder if that's ever going to be explained why they suddenly just happened to use magic, or if we're just going to have to interpret that for ourselves.
But yeah, and then of course same way you could say for the odd numbered episodes they had their fair share of exposition. 1 obviously had to do the exposition for the whole game, the game board. 3 kind of gave us exposition on Avatrice, like prior to becoming Avatrice. 5, I feel like it didn't have a whole lot of exposition actually.
The Black Witch.
Sandwich.
5 was a lot more of.
It was epitaph solving, I guess.
Yeah, it was a lot of epitaph solving, and it was a lot of. 5 was what they needed to kind of turn Battler's opinion around in the entire situation. They set up new antagonists because Beatrice is no longer the antagonist necessarily now.
Yeah.
So now there's a whole different reason to fight.
Yep. Well, that's about it.
All
Let's see what happens next time. See what other news we have. We've still yet to start. We haven't gotten to October 4th, 1986 yet, so
True.
stay tuned.
Anything non-Ooms related for Stream End?
Our schedule be popping. Nothing tomorrow.
Seems we're
Saturday.
I was about to say, it seems we're going to start having Saturday streams now, regularly.
Yeah. Jordan, we'll see how long she keeps up to doing those, because this will be week number 2
Yep.
of that.
With Stardew.
Where she's doing Stardew Valley. Yep. I will also quickly plug, if you haven't voted already and would like to influence what game I play next on my solo streams, check out in our community tab. I'm taking votes for what to play because I finished Dark Souls, so I need something new to play.
If you haven't voted already, where were you? It happened 2 days ago.
Indeed, the vote, I'm probably going to call it by like either Saturday or Sunday. So whatever it is by then is what I'm going to play by next Tuesday.
Alright.
So there's that. And then much of the same. So it should be a Terranria by Monday. We'll be back on Sunday with more Umineko.
Yep.
And then that's about it.
And do expect, because Terranria is getting kind of close to an end point now. So we'll figure out something to do after Terranria is over. So new gaming series will be popping up at some point. Probably.
Indeed. We'll be talking about that in the future with you at home. We've been talking about it in the backlog.
And the John Terranria. All right. Is that it? Bye-bye.